I just started playing New World Aeternum again on my main character, and he's already money capped, and so is my company, so I guess it's time to make a new character. I have 3,680 hours worth of experience playing New World Aeternum, so let me show you how a professional does it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to have the best start at New World Aeternum. This new player money-making beginner's guide for 2025 will show you how to progress quickly from level 1 to 65. This guide is perfect for the new or returning player to New World with absolutely no storyline spoilers. When choosing what type of character class you wish to start out in New World Aeternum, it ultimately doesn't matter. You can pretty much go with whatever you want. You're not locked into anything. There are 7 different archetypes you can choose from, and each one of them has a different weapon style as well as a trade skill that's tied to it. All of the weapons are relatively balanced, although Greatsword and Blunderbuss is actually a big gigantic bag of win, although I end up not choosing that weapon combination in the beginning. Ultimately, we can switch over to any weapon style we want later down the line, so I'm going to base my choice off the trade skill bonuses, which is going to be weaponsmithing, mining, as well as smelting, so I'm going with the soldier. New World does a really good job allowing you to customize the appearance of your character, and I'm kind of going for a dark Viking look this time. I'm going to name my noob character Viscount Gregor. I'm going to be playing on the West Coast El Dorado server, so if you end up seeing me out there in the world, why don't you say hi? And on that note, it's time for our adventure to begin. Right after you create your character and have a cutscene, New World's going to throw you into a situation where it actually teaches you how to play the game. First, it's going to start out with combat, and then later down the line, it's going to teach you how to traverse through the world itself. As far as a new player experience goes for a first-time player, and I have played a lot of games, New World does a fantastic job teaching you how to play. New World originally launched back in October of 2021, and it had just over 900,000 concurrent players, which is absolutely ridiculous. Fast forward to 2025, right now the game has never been in such a good state. Like, I had so much fun with this playthrough. Press tab to open up your paper doll, and in order to equip your weapons, all you have to do is drag them into the slot or click on them and press equip. Notice that yellow symbol above the corrupted Legionnaire's head? Well, that represents the main storyline quest, and we're going to be doing that quite a bit. When you level up a weapon, press K to open up the Weapon Masteries tab, then select the weapon you need to upgrade. I really don't plan on using Sword and Shield for long, so I guess I'm just going to go with Whirling Blade. It does AoE damage, and that's going to help. When you first start to play New World Aeternum, the very first thing you're going to realize is you are absolutely beat over the head by how beautiful this game actually looks. The combat, the music, and the storyline just really ties everything together. When you land on the beach for the first time, you're either going to be in Monarch's Bluff or you're going to be in Windsward. You're going to want to pick up at least 5 flint and 5 pieces of wood. Once you've scarfed up 5 flint and 5 wood, locate the camp that's in the Newbie area and then press E to interact with the fire pit. The main quest wants you to craft just 1 skinning knife, but do yourself a favor, you're going to want to craft all 3 of the other tools because we're not leaving this Newbie area until we've filled our bag up completely with loot. On your paper doll, click the little sickle icon and you can drag and drop each one of these tools in here like a noob, or you can just left click them and then press equip. Like, I don't know why I'm not doing that right now because I'm stupid. Whenever you see a glowing page out in the world, make sure you read it because they're worth a lot of experience. Wow, reading that page got us to level 3, so hit escape, click on your character. Now we need to put some points into our attributes. For my weapons, strength is going to be primarily used for my weapon damage, so I'm going to put my points into there. Let's say you start playing New World with your buddies and half your team's in Monarch's Bluff and the other half is on the new beaches of Windsor. Don't worry, you're all going to be able to hook up here in a bit. The main storyline will converge in Everfall. Once you have all your tools sorted, you're going to be able to start harvesting things from the environment itself, just like this black boar here. We're going to be getting leather, we're going to be getting some meat, and possibly some rare items. Make sure you save that rage hide for later. As far as newbie areas go, Monarch's Bluff is better than Windsward because it contains banana trees, and you're definitely going to want to be hacking up a pile of banana trees because each of those bananas are worth about 4.5 gold each. The next harvestable item you're going to want to be on the lookout for are herbs, and they're going to have hyssop as well as a variety of other little cooking ingredients that you can sell for later. We're definitely going to be selling all those cooking ingredients to get some more gold as a new character, but most definitely hang on to all the hyssop that you get. You'll need the hyssop to train your Arcana later. Gathering is going to get you a lot of experience, and looky there, we're already overweight. As a total and complete noob, we can only hold 200 stones worth of items, and that's not really a lot of items, but don't worry, when you hit level 10 you'll be able to get a bag, and that means you can hold even more stuff. I've completed the main quest until it wants us to go to town, and I have harvested our way to level 8, so let's put some points into Constitution. That's our hit points. Once you get sent to the first town, New World really starts to open up to you. You can pretty much do whatever the heck you want from this point on, although I highly recommend you keep pounding out the main story quests until you get to level 20. At the trading post, you can sell your items to other players. You can either sell them directly to a buy order or post a sell order yourself. In almost every case, it's going to be just a good idea to post a sell order and make more money, but I'm going to go for instant gratification. When you do create a sell order though, you're able to choose between a 1, 3, 7, and 14 days time schedule. Always make sure that you use 1 day because that's going to give you the lowest fee possible. And then he goes and sells the hyssop he told you to save because he rides the short bus. I ended up getting these iron ingots here from salvaging stupider weapons than the ones I currently had, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of free money. We'll take it. Cha-ching. Each zone in New World Aeternum kind of drops different cooking ingredients, and some of those herbs are worth a lot of money. Unfortunately, the ones that are off in Monarch's Bluff, yeah, they're not worth a whole heck of a lot. When we're this new, every single gold counts, even if it's a freaking penny, so we're going to try to make all the money we possibly can, because by level 20, we're going to need to spend a whole bunch of money pimping our character out so we can get to level 40. Just a little while ago, you saw me sell some greenwood and rawhide. Trust me, that is never going to happen again in this playthrough, because the ultimate way to make money in New World Aeternum is through refining. Whenever you come across a supply cache, always loot it because each of those regions are worth a pile of money, and money saved is money earned. Technically, I am focusing on pounding out the main storyline right now. It's just that I'm killing everything and harvesting everything on the way there, as well as on the way back to town. I'm going to get it all. Whenever you see a supply stockpile, make sure that you loot it because it can have some of the best loot in the game, especially later on. Same thing goes for provision stockpiles. They can have food recipes and a variety of food items. Some of them are going to be worth a lot of money. When you're out in New World, make sure they unlock any teleportation shrine that you find. This makes traveling back and forth in the game so much easier. I just hit level 11 and I'm putting my points into Constitution. At 25 we get our first bonus. As far as weapon mastery goes, there is most definitely a meta for each and every weapon type in New World Aeternum. At level 20 I plan on switching out my sword and shield for the blunderbuss, so I'll be running blunderbuss and hatchet. For the hatchet, I'll be researching the entire berserk tree. When you're killing stuff, gathering stuff, and doing quests in certain zones, you are going to be getting territory experience. Here's a good rule of thumb: whenever you get the storage card, make sure that you grab it. If you plan on doing crafting and trading in that town, make sure you get the station fee as well as the trading fee card. Later, standing gain is also good. Besides trees and stone, iron is the third most abundant resource within New World Aeternum. The thing is, everyone and their brothers, uncles, cousins, former roommate, and their moms, plus their extended family, they're all out here farming this, so it's highly contested. There are farm locations sprinkled out all over the place in New World Aeternum, so whenever you find one, you make sure that you farm up all the fruits and vegetables that you find. Like for instance, these strawberries here, they are worth about 5 gold 50 on pretty much every server for the most part, so yeah, that's like super duper nude money right there. A little earlier I touched on one of the very best ways to make money is through refining, but another really super good way to make money is to put in buy orders for all these food ingredients and then sell them for a massive profit. That is what I'm going to be doing here in a little while in order to fund our future adventures. There are 4 main categories when it comes to refining. There is the leather, the wood, and the metal. Well, this right here is hemp, and hemp is used to make cloth. The sad thing is, the devs never coded in a way to roll a big fatty. Overweight again because we farm absolutely everything in sight, plus we've already made 541 gold, which means some of our orders are selling, and that's totally a bag of win. Completing the main story quest, Fragments of Truth, will give you a free bag, which is definitely a bag of win, and I totally forgot I was trying to put points into Constitution. Let's get that bag equipped, and I'll see if I'm going to be a noob. Yep, he's still a noob. He's not going to use the equip button, because why do that? Gonna get everything just stuffed into the bank really quick so I can get right back out there and chop a whole bunch of banana trees. Banana trees are totally awesome. Now that strange resin right there is really cool too. That's gonna give us lumberjacking experience later. Ironically, I'm still trying to get to the mission location because I am farming absolutely everything in sight. And here comes a flag level 65 character. His weapons and tools are far superior to mine, which means he can outfarm me any day of the week, so I'm really going to have to be on point to get some of this loot here. Considering how much rawhide sells for on the market, I don't actually blame this guy, even though he's kind of a scumbag for trying to do it. This guy is level 65 and he should know better. I don't know why he jumped on the first node, which happens to be smaller, so I'll just take the better one. Yeah, because my brain's slightly bigger than yours, sir. Rule number 1, when you have competition like this over nodes with other players, make sure that you grab the biggest node first. It's going to give you the most resources. Let's talk about the benefits and drawbacks of flagging. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that for a while until I at least join a faction. Now, I plan on joining Covenant, which is the yellow people. The benefit to flagging is you'll kind of have a loot luck bonus towards boss mod drops, loot in chests, or getting rare drops from stuff like rabbits or any of the nodes that you farm out in the world. It is kind of worth it, although it's just a small little bonus. The obvious drawback to flagging is at any time you can have forced PvP upon you. Sometimes you'll be wearing your farming gear and not your fighting gear, which means you end up getting completely and totally curb stomped. The only safe place from that is inside of a town. New World knows what they're doing. They just keep cramming these upgrades down your throat on a constant basis when you're in the early game. The other cool thing, based off the gear you're currently wearing and using, well, the game tries to give you that type of stuff more often than not. Although it will give you other random items on occasion, and I just pretty much salvage all those. Now let's check one of the quest boxes, and it looks like that is also going to be an upgrade for me, so we'll just stuff that on as well. And just think, it only took me 14 levels to finally use the equip button. As soon as you hit 30 harvesting, you will have the ability to farm for motes. Now these Dragon Glory plants here, they are going to drop fire motes. There are many different types of motes and they're all worth about a gold or more each. Shock bulbs are going to drop air motes. Now don't get totally and completely seduced by the dark side and sell any motes that you farm. You're going to save every single one of those. Every mote that we stash is going to be used to raise our Arcana skill as well as our jewel crafting. Stashing these motes for later isn't going to earn us any gold right now, but it's going to save us a ton of gold later. Whenever you see an active honey tree, make sure that you grab it because the honey or the beeswax is worth a decent amount of coin. Just like last time, I farmed my way to the quest, completed the quest, now I'm farming my way back to town and I just got myself overweight once again. Look at that loot. Look at that loot, it's amazing. Our main goal is to keep pressing forward until we get to level 20, so I'm just going to drop everything off and then just go out there and do another main storyline quest. I'm basically being the gigantic vacuum mega maid from Spaceballs, sucking up everything around me, then I pull the first good drop from the stockpile. The furniture schematic's probably going to be worth a little bit of gold, but since we're going to be making a whole pile of money doing furnishing at the end of this video, might as well just go ahead and learn it. Did we get another upgrade? Of course we did. To say the combat in New World Aeternum is totally and completely awesome is an understatement. You'll see me using hatchet and blunderbuss for the majority of this video, but each weapon has its own unique feel and style when you're using it out there fighting or PvPing. Absolutely amazing and super duper immersive. The 69th rule of acquisition states that you do not return to town until your bag is completely full after completing one leg of your main story quest. Goals on this run was to ham out another part of the main story quest, get our lumberjacking to at least 60, grab a big pile of greenwood, and hopefully get ourselves some bananas. Mission accomplished. Yeah, at this point the bank is getting really full. I'm gonna have to sort this here pretty soon. Went on a fast run for some more hyssop to replace the stuff I sold because I was an idiot, and also got some more of the herbs for cooking ingredients. We're finally going to do our first batch of refining, but before we do that, we're going to turn in our skinning research here. I actually got that bone from skinning a wolf earlier, and that's worth 2 levels of experience. A lot of the profits you're going to get from refining come from the bonus items, but since we had 0 skill, we got 0 bonus items. Our first combine got us to level 51, which means we can now create rugged leather as well, and we did end up getting 4 bonus items. It's not a lot, but it's extra free money. You get a lot of experience from harvesting the items, but you also get a lot of experience for refining them as well, and that just made us get to level 20. Every time you hit one of those bubble milestones on a stat, it's going to give you a special bonus, so I'm going to be breaking my neck to get to 100 strength and 50 con. Just like with the leathers, any plant that drops the materials to create cloth has a chance to drop research items. That one drop of strange pollen got us from 63 to 65 harvesting, heck yeah. We have no skill, so we're not going to get any bonus items, but I can already tell we do not have enough of the plant fibers in order to get us to 50. Seriously, instead of running all over the place when you're trying to find something, just press M to open your map, then look for the icon. You'll get used to which one it is. Right click to create a marker, and then you can run right there. Super easy. Since we picked the soldier as our archetype, we actually start out with 50 smelting right now, so that's going to come in really handy with at least a few bonus items. As a noob, you're going to run across silver quite a bit, especially when you get to Everfall. You'll find gold out there as well. Both of these materials will drop gems. Make sure you save all gems for later. I ended up getting a strange ore off an iron node, and that's going to bump us all the way up to 64 mining. I'll take it. I have a lot of greenwood here, but we're going to need the majority of that to raise our woodworking skills, so let's only create a little bit of charcoal. We end up getting 45 extra pieces. I'll take that. Based on our skill, we have a 10% chance to create some extra steel, and I will most definitely take that because they're worth over 5 gold each. Even though I turned some of our greenwood into charcoal, I definitely have enough to get our skill up to 50, and once we get to 50, we can start making lumber. I ended up with 5 strange resins, and that's because I chopped a whole heck of a lot more trees compared to all the other resources that I farmed. I kinda planned on raising my Arcana skill up a little bit, but then I remembered the town here in Monarch's Bluff totally sucks for getting water compared to in Windsward. Let's hope I can at least get my Arcana skill up to level 1. I mean, I went to 2 different wells to get some water, so we have 30 water to work with. Let's see if it worked out. Of course it didn't. Let's set up the trading post. We're going to be doing a major sell-off on the majority of the things that we farmed, as well as the stuff that we refined. Here are all my active sell orders, and it's quite a few items. While we wait for all of our mad loot to sell, let's upgrade our gathering tools, starting with a steel axe. Make sure to search for the highest gear score tool possible, and then go down the list until you find something affordable. The higher the gear score, the faster the gathering speed will be, and this one has luck and efficiency, which is going to make it even faster, so definitely getting this axe. This sickle has yield and efficiency, plus being relatively cheap, we're going to grab this one. Our skinning knife has luck and yield on it, which is the 2 best buffs you can get on a steel tool. Now I like this tool for pure skill gain. The Prospector's Discipline's good, and the Gathering Alacrity is going to give me haste after I mine a node. Our new tools have more than twice the gathering speed of those other noob tools, which means we're going to be able to advance our skills so much faster. Which is a good thing because we're going to stop working on our main story quest and completely focus on all 4 of the gathering skills and get them to 100. Time to buy a blunderbuss. I need to really start getting those skills trained up at this point. They're going to be located under 2-handed weapons. At the very least, check the boxes can use and can afford. Now I'm going to get this one because it has enchanted and it's going to make my weapon damage even better. That blunderbuss was relatively expensive for a noob. Just understand that once you bind that item to you, about the only thing you can do afterwards when you get an upgrade is salvage it. When I'm upgrading my gear, this time I'm really going to try to focus on getting a light loadout. That way I can roly-poly all over the place. You'll see that later in the video. I'll search chestware by the highest gear score possible, and of course it had to be a dress. The good news is at least it has health on it, so that's a plus, even though it's going to make me look like I have fake boobs. These pants aren't too shabby. They might not have the highest gear score, but they do have refreshing, and refreshing is super awesome. We're starting to get a bit broke here, waiting for the majority of our stuff to sell, so I'm probably just going to upgrade those 2 body pieces because we need to buy a ring, an amulet, and an axe. Noob jewelry is always so freaking expensive, and it's another reason why I max up my jewel crafting later. The extra 10 con on that ring is going to be super nice, and the good news is the amulet that we purchase isn't super expensive. The hatchet we end up getting was actually created by another player who was trying to raise up their engineering skills, so we ended up getting it super duper cheap, which is, really nice when you're poor. Gear-wise, I upgraded everything except for the boots, gloves, and hat, and we still hit our goal of getting 100 strength and at least 50 constitution. If you purchase the Angry Earth expansion at level 20, you can unlock your first mount. Since we have to run all the way there, we might as well get any teleportation shrines we find on the way. When you're out there harvesting and looting in New World, you will run across these hidden stashes. They will contain motes as well as gold. I cannot stress this enough. Like, if you're a complete and total noob like I am, and we're actually kind of hurting on gold right now, Don't forget about the 69th rule of acquisition. I'm not kidding. We might be on a mission to unlock our horse, but we're also going to be filling up our bag all the way with loot. In Everfall, next to this Covenant mission, is an epic farm. There are tons of potatoes here, as well as corn and carrots. Surrounding the entire farm are a whole bunch of hemp plants, and considering we need to get our weaving to 50 as soon as possible, this is a bag of wind. I'm also kind of breaking my neck to murk absolutely everything in sight, even if I'm not going to do anything with it, just to get my blunderbuss skills up. Just like with the main story quests, I'm not going to spoil anything that has to do with your very first mount quest, because it's actually kind of cool. It will not take you very long to get it, and once you do, you can press X to summon your mount. There are two different styles of races. This one is the rally, and it is also the easiest one to complete. If you stay on the road, your mount will run faster, and if you hold down shift, you'll actually get a speed boost until you run out of stamina. When you complete any of these races, chances are there will be a fast travel teleport shrine super duper close, so if you don't have it, make sure you get it knocked out. Mount speed is tied to your riding skills, so if you want to get a little bit extra, go ahead and feed him at least 3 times a day. You can get better shoes for your mount as well as trinkets by completing races. You'll also get decorations that you can actually add to your mount. Around level 40, I'll likely focus on hamming out all the races I possibly can and unlocking the wolf mount. Becoming one of the Yellow People Brethren is going to be the last bit of questing I do until we get all of our gathering skills up to 100. That little bit of questing to join the faction got me to level 21, and for the most part I think I'm going to put most of my points into strength. You can complete missions for your faction, which will earn you faction tokens, and the higher faction that you get, the better items that you can actually unlock in the store. My young Padawan, this is an excellent example of why we need to get all of our gathering skills up to 100. That's weirdwood right there, and we can't chop that down until we get 100 logging. At this point, if you keep hamming out the main storyline, sure, you're going to be a high level, but you're not going to be able to farm anything good. With another town unlocked, we've basically doubled our storage, which is going to be super duper awesome. Even though I am in Everfall right now, I can select the Monarch's Bluff tab and interact with that bank there, even though I'm in Everfall. Unlocked pretty much all the fast travel locations in Everfall, now I'm working on Windsward. Heading down the road west out of the settlement in Windsward, you're going to come across another really good farm. There are potatoes in the front as well as in the back side of this farm. There's also going to be all kinds of corn and cabbage here as well. Focusing on leveling my harvesting like crazy when I hit level 22. I now have 3 territories with the fast travel shrines unlocked. This is going to make farming a lot easier. If you're a noob, one of the best ways to get your woodworking and lumberjacking up is just to head over to Monarch's Bluff and go to where my marker is. Farming banana trees as a noob is one of the fastest ways to get your lumberjacking to at least 50, and when you get to 50 lumberjacking, you can start farming for mature trees. Mature trees will give you aged wood, and then that way you can start making lumber. Ultimate goal is to get 100 logging and 100 woodworking so we can start making weirdwood planks. This is why I join a faction as soon as possible. If your faction actually owns that fort in Weaver's Fen, well, you're going to get a plus 10 to your yield when you're refining. If I was 250 skill and had all the woodworking gear, well, we would have had a plus 50 to yield, and that would have been ridiculous. Only 12 more logging skill to go until we can chop weirdwood. Since we do have that bonus, I might as well just break my neck and refine pretty much everything I can, and since our archetype was a soldier in the beginning, that plus 50 is coming in clutch right now because we just hit 100 smelting. If I actually had some decent harvesting luck, I would be getting more of those research drops, but alas, the struggles of a noob. That first craft of linen is going to get us past 50, and when we craft that sateen, it's going to get us to 65. Now, I wish I could say cha-ching, but we still suck. I've been holding on to my leather for quite a bit, just waiting for Covenant to totally hold down that fort in Weaver's Fen. By making that coarse leather as well as the rugged leather, we ended up with 80 skill in leatherworking, and that's not too shabby. But we still suck. That awkward moment when you're like, we're doing it, Peter, and we're at 99 logging, then we're overweight. Dude. The good news is we ended up with 5 of those strange resins, which means we're going to get up to 103 logging. I did manage to chop down a few mature trees while I was out there, so we can make at least a little bit of lumber. Bit low on charcoal, unfortunately, so I can't turn all that green wood into timber. Speaking of charcoal, we better knock that out before we lose our global refining bonus. This is the side effect of gathering and refining. We've acquired some more items that we can get up on the trading post to make more gold, so we might as well get that done. Getting 400 gold and bananas as a side effect of training your lumberjacking and woodworking, pretty much everybody's got time for that. Now that I have all my sell orders posted, we're going to go in here and start actually placing buy orders for some of these cooking ingredients. There are many different ingredients in the cooking section, so make sure that you check each and every category, and the best rule of thumb is that item must at least make you 3 times the gold that you invest. In this case, it is a much higher margin. The next item I'm going to research is squash, and in this case, it's not going to be a really good investment to sink our gold into this because we're not going to be making very much. Here are my active sell orders, and once they all come through, it's going to earn us a pile of gold. But more importantly, here are our buy orders. This is definitely going to help our gold grow. Our mushrooms buy order completely filled, so let's put in another one. Oh wow, our buy order for barley also filled, so yeah, most definitely going to get that stuff up for sale because it is worth a bunch of gold. Barley, sage, cauliflower, and nutmeg kind of break the 3 times rule because you will be making a lot of gold when you're doubling your money at least on something like this. The 70th rule of acquisition states that you must make your gold work for you at all times. Just to the southeast of the settlement in Windsward, there will be a little hill that you can climb. There's mature trees all over the place, and right nearby, there's a nice patch of weirdwood trees that will spawn. Just to the left of me, there's a cave that has silver and gold in it, as well as platinum. The other reason why I'm over here is there is a boatload of boulders all over the place, and we need to get our stone cutting up as soon as possible, because I haven't even worked on that at all. If you head southeast from the cave, which I haven't even shown that yet, but if you do, you'll find a couple patches of silver out here as well. Dude's trying really hard to camp this, but I saw it and I got here first, so it's mine. Finally getting around to hitting up the stone cutting table for the very first time. Now I didn't get a lot of stone, but it should be enough to get us above 50. Bam, that's the bam, although we are completely out of sandpaper. Went right back out there, farmed up some more stone, bought a little tiny bit of sandpaper because it's freaking super expensive, but wait, there's more. With that sandpaper, we are able to finally craft those stone bricks, and from there it took us all the way up to 91 stone cutting. Cha-ching. More harvesting, more refining equals gaining more levels. Buying that sandpaper was relatively expensive, and my skill kind of sucks, so when I sell these bricks off, I'm only going to be about a break even, but that's not too bad because we got a bunch of free skill. And while I'm at it, I might as well get that Arcana up that I tried to do earlier, plus my jewel crafting, but it's all going to start here with farming up this bull rush. At our level, we can make our own camp by pressing Y, but somebody already crafted one, so I'm just going to use theirs. Bro, I literally just choked on the open net making a whole bunch of weak alchemy, and that can only make weak potions, hence we're gonna barely make any Arcana experience whatsoever. Yeah, should have most definitely made the common alchemy and then the common potions. I went down the road of being a bonehead and we still have weak alchemy left, so we're gonna use some of these briar buds I got from the briar patches around this lake to make some weak mana potions. My buy and sell orders are popping off like crazy, so I might as well spend just a few minutes updating them. It's going to definitely be worth my time and keep that gold train going. Sage is one of those interesting cooking ingredients that I mentioned earlier. Now, don't fall for this trap. There's only a couple buy orders up there right now for $8, but then it drops all the way down to $207. So yeah, most definitely, those buy orders are going to get filled really quick. Then everyone and their mom's going to be selling to me for a way lower price. Here are my current sell orders. Now I'm already starting to sell some of the fruits and vegetables that I purchased off the market, but you guessed it, for buy orders we are still purchasing the absolute crap out of food items. From level 21 to 26 we've been focusing most of our time in gathering and refining, so let's check out where our skills are. 4 of our refining skills are already at 100 or more, it's just weaving kind of sucks right now, we need to work on that. For gathering, 2 of our skills are at least 100 or more, which is awesome, but our harvesting and our tracking and skinning definitely needs a little help. If you click on any one of the gathering skills, it'll pull up a little table showing you the items and what skill you can gather them at, as well as track them at. That's a handy bit of information. At this point, getting really tired of sucking at Arcana as well as jewel crafting, so we're going to get that sorted. I went and purchased some hyssop with some of the gold profits we made. This time I'm going to make absolutely sure I don't pull another bonehead move. We are going to be making common LCAS. Now our main goal is just to get to 25 Arcana. I mean, since we didn't get dressed up for nothing, I might as well make these common potions. That way it's going to give us the maximum skill gain possible. Now that we have at least 25 Arcana, we can start converting our motes into elemental wisps. I converted every single mote that I had saved up, and it ended up getting us to 66 Arcana. That's not too bad. Our next goal is to hit 75 Arcana so we can start converting essences. Converting motes is one of the very best ways in order to get territorial experience. So if you want to knock out a whole bunch of cards, then convert a whole bunch of motes. If you have some gems and some motes, it's almost criminal how easy it is to raise your jewel crafting. You know, sometimes you think you're being awesome, but in reality, you're actually being a total and complete idiot. Take me, for instance. I went and just converted all those motes into wisps, and I actually need the motes in order to cut these stupid gems that I have to get easy jewel crafting skill. If you screw up like I did, you're basically stuck using your silver to make bands, chains, hooks, and settings. Your next option would be to turn all those stupid gems that you have into weak gemstone dust. If you end up making the weak gemstone dust, it's actually going to kind of screw you over once you hit level 50 because you're going to be converting those stupid gems into even better gems. Don't worry about it too much no matter which path you choose, even if it's the stupid path like I did. Just make sure that you hold on to every single gem that you get from when you're mining iron, silver, or gold. Once you get done upscaling all the gems that you currently have, don't forget to cut them after the fact because some of them will sell to noobs for a decent amount of money and it's going to give you more jewel crafting skill. I keep investing all the gold I make from my sell orders. I put it right back into buy orders, but I did hold on to a little bit because I definitely want to get an extra bag right now. No matter what bag you get in the beginning, just make sure that it actually has extra pockets in it because that'll help you hold more weight. In case you didn't notice, I actually reached level 30, and at level 30 we can equip a second bag. That is really going to help us since I'm back to focusing on the main quest again. I'm up to level 35 now. Here are my updated buy and sell orders that I'm currently working with right now. Just like before, as I'm hamming out the main storyline, I am vacuum cleaning absolutely everything up around me whenever I can find it, especially stuff like star metal here. As I press forward to level 40, I am focusing on getting all 4 of my gathering skills up so I can farm even better materials. I just hit level 40 from doing the main storyline. It is more important than ever that we get our refining and our gathering skills up to at least 150 as soon as possible. You will make a fair bit of gold doing the main storyline quests, however, that's going to be a drop in the bucket compared to how much you can make if you start using buy and sell orders. I'm sitting on a fair amount of gold right now, and since we hit level 40, it is now time to update all of our gear as well as our weapons. Sadly, all those other blunderbusses that are higher gear score do not have the leeching shrapnel blast perk. Had any of those blunderbusses had that perk on it, I definitely would have spent more money. Unfortunately, the perks on these hatches totally and completely suck, so I'm just going to go with this cheaper one. Before forking out all my gold on 5 pieces of armor, I went and did a little bit of research. Every single one of these silk armors that you're seeing was crafted by a player in-game. I'm going to tell you right now that that player has a big gigantic brain with a whole bunch of folds in them because they know exactly what they're doing. Players at my level are starting to fork out money on gathering sets, stuff that gives you a bonus to gathering a certain item, and in our case, all these pieces have reinforced mining luck on them, giving us a boost to rare drops from metals. At level 40, you can actually upgrade your gathering tools again, so we might as well do that right now, starting with the logging axe. 545 is basically the highest gear score you can get on a star metal tool, and since it has the 3 best perks in the game, I don't mind forking out the money. I ended up with a max level mining pick with luck and yield on it. That's super awesome. Alright, now seriously, pay special attention to how much money I am forking out right now for these tools because later in the video we're going to make a bunch of these tools for absolutely free. Oh wow, we got a tremendous deal on this skinning knife. Technically, with luck and yield and Tanner's discipline, we would have likely paid about 1,000 gold for that. Boy, am I happy that person didn't know. With these new star metal tools, our gathering isn't quite twice as fast as those steel tools, but we're definitely going to be harvesting things a lot quicker. Looking at amulets, and I can't really justify forking out a whole boatload of gold on something that might be just marginally better, so I'm just going to go with this blue one right here. As far as earrings go, all the perks that I can basically afford totally and completely suck, so I'm just going to go with this cheap one here, mostly for the strength bonus. I was really hoping that I can get a ring with leeching as well as hardy on it, but unfortunately we're just going to have to go with leeching. Leeching will heal us every single time we hit an enemy, and hardy would have given us a third roll for our roly-poly. Roly-poly is the way to go. I won't be upgrading my gear again until we hit at least level 60. So far we've spent about 4K on upgrades, but you know, why not spend even more money? The good news is these tanner's gloves are super affordable and they come in a common as well as a rare variety. No matter which pair of gloves I buy, even though the rare ones look better, they're both going to have a +2 yield when we refine leather. A +2 yield bonus is pretty cool, but it's going to be even better if we buy the other 4 pieces to this set. Across all servers, the Tanner's set is by far the cheapest set to acquire, so you might as well purchase this as early as you can. Like, I have no excuse, I should have got these a long time ago. For the first time in the video, you're seeing me actually lock items. I do not want to accidentally delete these. Press the gear set button underneath your hit point bar, then drag and drop each one of those pieces into the correct slot. You can then name the set whatever you want, just don't forget to save it. I said slot. He barely works hard for his money. Dun 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 dun. Works hard for his money. Yeah. Check the prices on every single one of the other sets besides the leather set, and the only thing I'm really going to spend money on are these woodworking pants. But Hawks, how do you always find all the loot and you know where to go to get absolutely everything within New World Aeternum? If you're a noob, let me introduce you to the fully interactive Aeternum map. Link will be down in the description. This handy tool shows you exactly where every single gatherable material spawns in New World, including bosses and chests. All you have to do is tell the map exactly what you're looking for and it does the rest. In this example, I'm heading to Brightwood and there's a teleport shrine right there. Nearby there are multiple orichalcum nodes as well as a whole bunch of wire fiber nodes. There's 2 big patches of weirdwood trees and right by that is a whole bunch of silkweed. Level 30 max level elk and wolves will also spawn in the area, and since they're max level, they're going to be dropping a boatload of rawhide. Main goal is to farm weirdwood, silkweed, as well as leather from the elk and the wolves. Oh my god, we got here. It's just about prime time. Everyone and their freaking mom is running around all over the place, and we got a full pop on these weirdwood trees. At our level, these weirdwood trees are a really good experience, so it's not going to take us very long to get our logging to 150. Behold the butthurt of a level 65 character. After I chopped down all the trees, I got this silkweed before him, and now he wants to shoot me. Here's a max level wolf, and you can't get rawhide off of any animal that is over level 30, so this guy is going to be the total hookup. Not doing too bad here, but as soon as I get all my gathering and refining skills to 150, we're going to jump right back on the main quest. Sadly, we didn't get any novice research from the weirdwood trees, but I ended up with at least 4 of those resins, and that got us to 139. With my woodworking pants on and my skill, we have a 17% chance to pull off bonus items. I end up pulling off about a 28% bonus, which goes to show sometimes you just get lucky. I finally got off my butt to make a gear set for my main gear as well as my woodworking gear. Finally. We got our woodworking past 150. It's now time to start working on our mining. We're going to head up to Great Cleave over at the Sunderfort Shrine. The mine is literally right behind the fast travel location. We're going to be farming a ridiculous amount of gold and a bunch of platinum. Track and mine all the gold that you can find until you get to the top of the mountain. Up there's going to be a little cave in there. Through half that cave, there's going to be gold as well. Basically, there's gold everywhere on the outside and halfway through that cave. On the back side of the mine, there is going to be platinum all over the freaking place. There are tons of supply caches for you to loot regents out of. Most definitely loot any of the stockpiles that you find because you can find rare trophy materials like the stacked deck and the loaded dice. Here are the gems we ended up getting, which isn't too bad because I only got to barely complete 1 loot before I totally ran out of space. When we left the mines, I had 149 mining, but we did get some novice mining research, which ticks us over the 150 mark. This journeyman experience, however, is going to be completely and totally off the hook. Got our mining up past 150, time to work on tracking and skinning, which is ironically in the exact same location. Follow the road north of the shrine. There's going to be wolves all over the place on the right and left hand side of the road. Since these wolves are over level 30, they're not going to be dropping rawhide, they're going to be dropping thick hide. Thick hide generally sells half decently on the trading post, just don't get sucked in and sell it because we need all of that for our refining skills. Beat up any rabbit that you find just in case you get the rare meat drop, it's worth a lot of gold. Tracking and skinning is good to go, now we just have to work on our logging as well as our harvesting. Time to hit up the Iron Rose Shrine out in Windsward. We're going to kind of follow the river as well as the edge of the purple border there in Windsward all the way up to the fort. Our main goal is to constantly farm hemp and grab up any moats that we might find on the way. Keep in mind that this run is highly contested at most hours of the day, so yeah, it might become quite people-y out there when you're farming. Oh, I almost forgot. So under those oak trees over there, there's going to be herbs, and in Windsward, nutmeg has a chance to drop, and if you get nutmeg, it is worth a lot of gold. Hemp, herbs, and to a lesser extent, moats are all over the place in this area, so it's not going to take me very long to get to 150 harvesting. Oh yeah, he said that it wouldn't take long, but as you can see, it's freaking dark outside when I hit 150, but I do have over 3,000 fibers. While I was out there getting all those fibers, I did end up getting a half-decent amount of motes, plenty for us to get past 75 Arcana. Now that we can create essences, we can also jack up our jewel crafting score really fast. Before you get super butthurt, don't forget to upscale all the gems you have before you turn those green wisps into the blue essences. Looks like we're going to hit 100 jewel crafting before we turn any of those green gems into brilliant gems. I'm at 75 Arcana right now, and converting all my wisps into essences got us all the way to 85 skill. At 125 Arcana, we can start creating quintessence. Starting with 103 jewel crafting, we're upscaling all of our green rarity gems into blue brilliant gems. That ends up getting us to 138 jewel crafting. We're starting to get there. For jewel crafting, our next goal is to hit 150 so we can start working with pristine gems. Converting motes and gems like that is going to give you a ridiculous amount of experience as well. I'm not doing too bad at this point. I have gold coming in at a constant basis, so don't we put that gold to work by buying some of the items we need instead of farming absolutely everything. Buying materials plus farming is still pretty profitable. For example, I farmed up all of the fibers as well as the silkweed. The wire fiber was cheap, and our faction owns the fort in Weaver's Fen. I'm going to post this infused silk for more than $15.50 a piece, and that's not too bad because everyone and their mom needs this. They're going to use it for crafting as well as their dailies. I have all my gathering and refining skills to 150, it's time to buy a house. If your first house is a small house, it's going to be free. All the other houses are half price. Owning a house gives you the ability to put a chest or chests inside there depending on its size, expanding your bank storage, which is really nice. I don't want a super small chest, and I can't really afford some of the really big chests, so we're just going to get this one here. A really neat feature in New World is having the ability to decorate the house however you want to do it, with things that you find in the world or things that you actually build yourself. Some of the most expensive items in New World are furniture pieces, so yeah, as you can imagine, some people go absolutely crazy with this. Getting your first house means you can also stuff a bunch of trophies in there. We're going to start with getting our gathering trophies. Putting all 4 of the gathering trophies inside your house means every single time you farm anything from a node or any animals out in the world, you're going to have extra luck at getting rare items from their drops. The better the trophy, the better the luck bonus. You can put 5 trophies in your house, none of them can be exactly the same. You most definitely want to be getting a loot luck trophy. That's going to help you with chests and boss mob drops. We literally just forked out like 2,400 gold to buy those 5 trophies, and ironically, once I get to 65, I start training furnishing, and we just sell a whole pile of these trophies. I also am high enough level to where I can finally get a 3rd bag, and I'm still not forking out a pile of money for super good bags quite yet. We're going to wait for later. Whenever I fork out a bunch of gold like this and it looks like I'm totally and completely poor, keep in mind I got a bunch of sell orders and all the gold will be coming right back in. I'm primed to do the main storyline, but I most definitely need to start breaking my neck and get as many of these races completed as I can. Doing these races is your very best source of riding experience. The last race you saw me complete was the rally. Those are super easy. This one is a tour. They take much longer and you kind of have to pay attention to your map so you know exactly where you're going. Broke my neck running a bunch of races and I finally unlocked the Wolf Mount. I love this one. We're not done yet. I still need to get to 150 riding. That unlocks our very first speed boost. This should be the last race I need to complete in order to get at least 150 riding. And not only did we do that, we got a bunch of trinkets and a whole bunch of horseshoes for our mount. Oh man, at this point I can definitely tell I'm way faster than I was when I started doing these races. Time to check out the skills. Definitely got our riding over 150. Our gathering and refining's looking good. Just don't look at Stonecutting. Pounded out the main story quest until we hit level 60. We need to upgrade our gear again. This time we're going to go super duper cheap because we're going to have to upgrade again once we get to 65. Having over 600 gear score on each one of our armor pieces is really going to help the cause. Like no kidding, towards the very end of the main story quest, fights were getting a little bit more difficult than they needed to be since I was using level 40 armor. We did pretty good. I barely spent any gold, although that helmet makes me look absolutely ridiculous, so we're going to change the skin on that. You can buy skins from the shop, earn them from events, or change any item that you want to into a skin instead of salvaging it. Enchanted Leeching Shrapnel Blast on a blunderbuss with 625 gear score. Right now, shut up and take my money. I have an absolutely ridiculous amount of rawhide, thickhide, and ironhide stashed up in my bank. Some of this I ended up farming myself as I was leveling up, but the majority of this I ended up buying for a half decent price. I'm not super concerned about the profits, even though I'm probably going to be making a good deal of gold. Mostly I just want to be getting my leather working all the way up to 250, because that's when the big bucks start rolling in. Look at those skills. Look at those skills, they're amazing. Except for, of course, Stonecutting, which still totally sucks. After doing a boatload of refining for pretty much everything, including that leather, I got all that stuff up for sale and then went and did a chest run in Brimstone Sands. Before I headed out here, I also bought a 625 gear score hatchet, which was relatively cheap. Now look how much crap you get when you do these chest runs. I'm mostly out here trying to get some decent 625 gear score items, and then I end up pulling something I never expected I'd do without having luck gear. Oh my goodness. On my server, that polished marble storage chest is worth about 8 to 10k, but I'm gonna keep it. Out with the old and in with the new. And the cool thing is, even though we used that old chest, we can still put it up on the market for sale. Not going to share a lot of decorating because I know it's not for everybody, but it is probably one of the main reasons why my wife plays. I give her money, she decorates her house. That's about it. The other reason why I went on that brimstone chest run was to salvage all the armor and weapons in order to get the useful scraps for later. With every new season in New World comes the activity card game, so let me explain how to play it like a boss. When you start a fresh card, there's usually at least 4 activities that are very easy to complete. When you complete the activity, you can start taking over tiles on the board. When you take over tiles on the game board, just make sure that you don't complete any lines until you have at least 6 or 7 tiles taken over already. To get another set of easy tasks, just re-roll your activities. When you start completing lines, every single time you do, you will get wild stamps, and wild stamps can be used anywhere at any time. I only recently just started caring about the activity card game, and I'm already almost level 15. Oh man, I was really hopeful that we would hit level 65 by completing the main story quest in Great Cleave, but unfortunately we didn't. It picks right back up in Brimstone Sands, so I might as well just farm all the way there, because we're not just doing this for money, we're doing this for a boatload of money. A lot of the quests in New World are like, go over here, beat up X amount of guys, or loot a bunch of stuff, then go back to the quest giver and get a bunch of experience. Yep, that's pretty much it. I have the skill, the gear, and the yield boost giving us a 30% chance at bonus items. That 197 leather is worth 6k gold. Earning experience past 250 in a skill will mean that you'll get these special reward crates. They come in a green, blue, and purple rarity, with purple being the best. Purple Greats have a small chance to drop the Refining Gear blueprint. That was a huge brick of territorial experience, which is a good thing because I need to get to level 30 in Windsward so I can buy myself a large house, eventually. I have literally been having these sitting around in my bag forever collecting dust, so we might as well turn them in because it's going to get us past 250 mining. With mining to 250, I kind of need to start thinking about getting at least my other 2 gathering skills, logging and harvesting, to 205, then I can gather everything in the game. Casually posting 30k gold worth leather on the trading post. Yeah. I didn't want to turn all the infused leather into dark leather because that's keeping all my eggs in one basket. I'm still focusing on selling the high-end cloth, wood, and metals. It's just I'm not going to be doing those in massive quantities until I end up getting all my refining gear sets in order. One of the first things you want to do when you first hit level 65 is to upgrade your gear and make sure that each piece has luck on it. Here in just a little bit, my master plan is to start camping some boss mobs in order to get our refining gear sets sorted. Luck can be the difference between spending hours upon hours farming a boss for a drop or getting it right away. So yeah, trust me, it's a good idea to drop the money on this luck set. Having all that luck gear isn't enough. You want to buy some pristine pearls and put 1 pearl in each one of those armor pieces. After you get them all stuffed into your gear, that's an extra 2.5% luck. Prepare yourself to bend over and take it in the medieval keister, because pretty much all jewelry that has luck on it at level 65 is going to be really, really expensive. Oh my god, that hurt! I spent pretty much 9k on jewelry. Let's scarf up 3 more pristine pearls, stuff those pearls into my jewelry, and with 8 pristine pearls, that gives us an additional 4% luck. The 5 pieces of gear and 3 pieces of jewelry each have 2.9% luck on each item. At 65, it does cost a respec. I think it's like 50 gold, so I probably should have waited until I bought a blunderbuss and an axe. I'll end up having to do it again later. When I'm looking for a specific item and I don't know where it drops, I always head over to New World Database. Link will be down in the description. You can head up to the search bar at the very top of the page and then type in the item that you're looking for. And in our case, we're looking for the woodworker's shirt. When you click on the item that you're looking for, it's going to take you to a new page, and any items that are similar, like the woodworker's complete set, will also be listed on the side. Scroll down towards the bottom of the page and it will actually show you the boss mob that drops that item. Click on the boss's name, it'll open up another page, then pop up a handy little map that you can zoom in and out of in order to find the exact location of the boss. I already know where this boss is located, and I also know that they dropped the engineer pants, so we're most definitely going to be going there right away. There's also another boss nearby that drops the engineer hat, so we're going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And if you want, you can also search through the boss's other drops just to see kind of the things that they have. They have massive loot tables, so when you do get one of these rare drops, it's kind of a big deal. The first boss will be laying the smack on is the Overseer, and she spawns in the Shattered Mountains. The first 5 bosses I highlight while I'm camping these refining pieces are very easy to defeat when you're level 65, so don't sweat it too much. Master plan is to beat up each one of these bosses, get at least 1 drop for me, and then 1 drop for sale, and what you know, I ended up getting the woodworking shirt on the very first drop, cha-ching. You're just going to be getting a whole pile of armor and weapons doing these boss camps, so make sure that you lock any of the good pieces. After you scrape the Overseer off your boot, you want to head southwest, and we're going to be camping a boss called the Gate Lord. Run past the inner gate, he's going to be located at the outer gate, and since I'm a greedy mofo, I'm going to grab up this orichalcum. Even though I'm 65, I am using a light loadout, so I don't want this guy to hit me too many times, because he can kill me in about 2 or 3 hits. I wasted one of my rolls and ended up taking a shot. Luckily for me, that was his total weak sauce hit. So yeah, unfortunately, we did not get the drop on our first try. I'm running back and forth farming the Gate Lord and the Overseer when the Overseer ends up dropping the Engineer's pants. If this keeps up, we're going to get all of our refining gear today. The Gate Lord hasn't put out the last 3 times that I camped him, but on the 4th try, we end up getting the Engineer's hat. You know, when you're fighting a boss and you end up bucking them down and you notice that the bag looks a little more purple than usual, that generally means you got another rare drop. Just like the second set of engineer pants, we might as well just stuff this woodworker shirt into my woodworking gear set. Both of these bosses are going to drop 625 gear score weapons and armor, so definitely if you're a fresh 65, this is a great camp. A random player named Tickle Me sent me a group invite once she started camping the Overseer. I ended up getting a third set of those engineer pants, but the master plan is just to get the woodworker shirt and then cut on out of here. Cha-ching. On the second kill of the Gate Lord, we end up getting our second engineer's hat. All the extra drops we farmed will be sold. Those profits will be used to purchase the pieces that we need that we're not going to farm. Speaking about selling those extra pieces, let's get those posted up for sale, and whenever you see 69 at the end of the price, chances are that's me, so hey, how's it going? The woodworker shirt and the engineer's hat are generally worth a lot of gold, so that's win for us. Although those pants we're about to sell, they're not worth very much. The good news is, we have 3 sets of those pants, so we'll make a bunch of money eventually. Found a 700 gear score blunderbuss that has life-stealing and leeching shrapnel blast. That's totally awesome. If it had enchanted on it, man oh man, would that be a really, really good blunderbuss. I guess I could spend more on a better hatchet, but at least this one has refreshing torrent and enchanted on it, so I'm going to get a really good weapon damage boost. Whenever I hit anybody with a refreshing torrent move, it's going to refresh all my other moves quicker, so, that's not super horrible. For extra damage, we're going to add opals to our weapons, and when you add opals to your weapons, as long as you don't have full stamina, you're going to be doing 12% more damage. Let's get our new weapons equipped, as well as add them to our gear set. Time to buy my first 600 gear score luck bag. Now, this isn't the very best one I'll be eventually getting, but this one's going to definitely tide us over for now. This is actually my second luck bag. That purple one I earned from doing the main storyline quest, it has 2.7% luck, and the 600 gear score bag I just got has 2.8. Head to the lower right outpost in Brimstone Sands. We're actually going to be camping 4 different bosses in Ebonscale Reach. Farley is located right where I put that location marker at, and he has a chance to drop the Weaver's hat. And no, unfortunately, I did not get that on the first drop. Drop off the edge of the cliff to the right. There will be a graveyard below. What you're looking for is Ivan. He's located in the church. Ivan has a chance to drop the Artisan Jewel Crafter's tunic. Right next to the church is Slayer Rosalind. She has a chance to drop the Woodworker's cap. Smells like a whole bunch of loot around here. Just gonna get that cap stuffed right into my gear set. The next boss is Mordecai the Mortician, and he is pretty much camped 24/7 on active servers. He has a chance to drop the legendary seal, a seal shard, as well as the Stonecutter's pants. Instead of farming Mordecai because those pants are so cheap, I just spent my extra time bucking down these wolves as well as farming up the ironwood that's in the area. Those wolves were worth so much experience, I got my tracking and skinning maxed out and ended up getting a second Weaver's hat. Back over to Shattered Mountains, you want to hit up the Clarion Outpost. We're going to be camping 2 different bosses in this dungeon. When you arrive at the dungeon, don't worry about aggro, just mob in past everything and hop up on this little rock over here. That's the actual safe area where you can clear your aggro. Dao Shen the Unstoppable is literally located down in that pit, so you can see him when you're clearing your aggro. When you aggro him, he will call all skeletons in the area to battle, so you better be prepared for that. He will also root you on occasion, so it can be a deadly combination if everything lays the smack on you at the same time. Ultimately, he's not really a super hard boss as long as you're level 65. With some luck and persistence, you'll end up getting the Weaver's pants. I reckon I'll stuff these Weaver's pants into my gear set. Getting to Z Wang the Immortal is relatively easy. Just keep going left every single time it makes you do that, and then go straight. You'll eventually run into him. Compared to Shen, he's a super easy boss, and if you're persistent enough, you will get the Woodworker's pants. I already own a set of Woodworker pants, so we just need to get 1 more set of Weaver's pants from Shen, and there we go, cha-ching, I'm out of here. I knew the Weaver pants were going to be worth a half-decent amount when I sold them, because the other day I was slobbering all over them, wishing I could have them. What did surprise me was just how jacked up the price was on these woodworking pants. You know what? I might have to go back and get some more of those later. I have boss loot, cooking ingredients, and refined items up for sale. I most definitely do not feel bad about spending the gold completing my woodworking set. I also don't feel too bad about dropping money on another 600 gear score luck bag. You know what? Eventually I'm going to be the luckiest mofo in New World Aeternum. Can't really afford to upgrade all of my tools quite yet, but I am going to go with this mithril logging axe. It has really good buffs on it. From now on, every single tree I cut has a chance to drop a life mote, and that's going to be win. This is me logging into my 4th day early in the morning, and it looks like I'm already making gold. Here's all the stuff I sold as I was sleeping, and that was the very first good night of sleep I actually got because I grinded pretty hard for the first 3 days. I already got the mithril logging axe yesterday, so we're going to end up getting the mining pick. I get a fabulous deal on this skinning knife, and then we get ourselves a sickle. All of these tools are going to basically have the same type of buffs on them: luck, yield, discipline, and alacrity. Each tool also collects a different mote. One of the very first things I do when I log in the morning is I check on my buy and sell orders, and I put my gold to work right away in the beginning. I understand that working the trading post over like I do isn't for everybody, but if you want to make hundreds of thousands or over 1 million gold per day, it's a necessary evil. Making profits is the plan, but my main goal is to get woodworking, smelting, and weaving to 250. I had a fair amount of motes stashed in the bank last night, so I decided to work on Arcana, getting it up to 103. I upscaled all the gems I could do, getting my jewel crafting up to 147. We're getting really close to being able to work on pristine gems. My updated sell orders are starting to pop off, so I might as well buy the weaver boots, and I'm also going to get the weaver's shirt. The weaver's gloves are actually really super easy to get, so we're going to farm them ourselves. Once I camp the weaver's gloves, then we can start working on the stonecutter set as well as the smelter set. Time to head over to Ebonscale. Penny's going to spawn exactly where I have the map marked right now. Penny's a little bobcat. She's going to spawn up in the doorway here on the 2nd level. This will be the 3rd spawn I'm waiting for, and so far she has not dropped the gloves yet. In between spawns, I've been pretty much farming up banana plants. There's metals and cloth stuff around in the area as well as herbs. Another pirate boss also spawns in that upper room up there, although I did not check to see what type of drops he had. 3rd time's a charm. Let's see if we get the drop. Oh yeah! Penny totally and completely hooked us up fat. That literally took no time at all, and that realistically just saved us over 4K. We got back to town, then went right back out and cut a boatload of trees. I made lumber, I made weirdwood, and then I upscaled everything into ironwood planks. At 232, we can work with runewood. I'm going to create this glittering ebony here, which is used to create prismatic planks. I got a ridiculous amount of strange resin, and that's going to get us all the way up to 204. We're so close. I'm fairly sure I have enough smelting materials on hand to keep upscaling everything to the point where I finally get 250 smelting. Creating this many mithril ingots is definitely going to throw us over the top, which is totally awesome because now we can make prismatic ingots. They're the best in the game. I got my first crate of smelting materials, and of course I didn't get the smelting pattern. What a bummer. Also, not a surprise. I've been upscaling cloth like crazy, and I'm finally getting past 250. I bought some more weirdwood and ironwood, then turned it into another set of ironwood planks, getting us past 250. Oh my goodness. On this round of combines, I barely farmed anything. I pretty much purchased most all of it, but these research pieces get me up to 209 logging. Once you get your gathering skills over 205, then you can farm pretty much anything in the game, but our harvesting still sucks. At least our 4 main refining skills are maxed out all the way. However, stonecutting, I need to get off my fat butt and eventually get that maxed out too. To get my harvesting up, I decided to head over to the Black Passage. There are wire fiber plants all over the place. Well, at least until they get camped by everybody else and I don't get hardly any. There will be Azoth water here as well. This stuff sells for at least 8 to 12 gold each on the trading post. Around this area, you're going to find 2 really big patches of the runewood trees, and if you can chop them down, you might as well do it. They're worth a bunch of experience. Alright, enough screwing around. If you really want to get your harvesting to 205, then just head over to the Crow's Nest. Keep heading down the road to the southwest. Eventually you're going to come to this barrier here where Shattered Mountains turns into Brimstone Sands. There will be young prickly pears as well as aloe all over the place. Like, you literally will not run out of stuff to farm. And if you're like me and you have a special sickle that allows you to get motes with every harvest, well, you're going to stack up on a whole pile of motes. Low-key, Brimstone Sands is actually a really good place to get hemp because under each set of trees there's always at least a couple hemp plants. Oftentimes the aloe and the cactus flesh will spike on the trading post and are worth a whole bunch of money, so hold on to that when they start to spike at around 4 gold each. True story, when you are just farming non-stop and you do not allow the game to catch up with how much actual experience you have, out of the blue you'll get the skill that you need even though the game says you still need to keep going. Out of all the gathering skills, harvesting is the most brutal to get up, although now we can farm spin fiber. Head over to Reekwater, we're going to be camping 2 different bosses. The first one spawns right next to the settlement. The second boss is located in the upper right hand corner of the territory, right near a gigantic pirate ship. The next 2 bosses we're going to camp are definitely a bit more difficult than any of the other bosses we've camped so far. It's not like they're difficult, but if they smack you around a little bit, it's going to hurt a lot. Their most powerful attacks are going to be cannon shots as well as trying to smash you with the cannon itself. Depleting their yellow bar all the way will cause them to be stunned, and you can just lay a whole bunch of cheap damage upon them because they can't really do anything about it. After beating up Ironcast, he has a chance to drop the Stonecutter's shirt. We're not just farming bosses, we're farming Azoth water, and inside this camp there is a ridiculous amount of Azoth water, so make sure you get that as well. First we fought Ironcast, now meet his big brother Smoothbore. This guy doesn't fool around at all. In my opinion, Smoothbore can be a bit more difficult to fight than Ironcast because he can do some really ridiculous moves on you. He has a really bad habit. Once he hits you, he doesn't want to stop hitting you, and that can make you run out of hit points really fast. This fight, though, turned out to be relatively easy, and I really wish I could say I got the Stonecutter's boots on the first drop, but not. It took me 2.5 freaking hours. That was literally 2.5 hours of running back and forth between Ironcast and Smoothbore over and over, and in doing so I ended up getting 3 total Stonecutter shirts. Besides the stonecutting gear, these 2 bosses can drop 700 gear score weapons and armor, so they're pretty awesome. The good news is the Stonecutter's goggles are relatively cheap, and those pants are definitely cheap because everyone camps that guy 24/7. And the gloves themselves, well, we didn't end up forking out too much gold, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, why stop spending gold when we have it, am I right? I mean, that's the continuing trend in this video. Make a bunch of gold through buy and sell orders, and then spend it all down to where I barely have anything left. With this last smelter's piece, we now own every single refining set in the game. Things are really starting to come together now. I have 2 more Stonecutter shirts to sell, and they're worth over 4K, and you know what else is worth 4K? The amount of Azoth water we farmed while camping those 2 bosses. I still have a pile of gold coming in through sell order, so we might as well just buy our second house. Yes, I'm going to go with another small one. Don't pick on me. I'll get all my large houses later. The main purpose of having a house is extra storage as well as being able to display trophies, and right now I only care mostly about having extra trophies. We now have 2 houses with all luck and gathering trophies. Needed to kill a little bit of time while we wait for the gold train to start rolling back in, so I'm out here farming up some boulders, and I'm also grabbing some mature trees just for the aged wood because I need to make some more lumber. Speaking about gold, cha-ching. I decided I finally am going to start working on my stone cutting again, but you know what? As fun as it is to farm everything by hand, I'm going to use some of my gold to just buy everything we need to get my stone cutting up. With the gold train coming in about an hour later, I decided to purchase my 3rd house. This one's going to be in Cutlass Keys. I purchased another luck trophy and got a full set of gathering trophies plus another chest. We're good to go. Towards the end of day 4 at this point. It's a Friday night and I have not played with my buddy Wartech going on 5 days at this point, so we decided to go on a treasure run in Brimstone where I pull a legendary drop. That pure resin is used to make the major logging trophy. I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth a fair bit of gold. About halfway through the chest run, my buy order for lodestone completed, and then I ended up finally selling those woodworkers pants. Yep, the value went back down, but they're still worth a decent amount. quick stop in Windsward after that chest run. We're going to go camp some bosses again. I'm just going to work on my stone cutting skill from the stone, sandpaper, and lodestone that I purchased off the trading post. I didn't really feel like waiting for Covenant to own the fort and Weaver's Fence so I could get the plus 10 bonus shield. I just want to knock this out at this point as fast as I can. It is starting to get a bit late. Vortex tired because he worked all day, but you know what makes you feel better? When you get a whole bunch of drops and your friend doesn't hardly get any of them. Yeah. This one's actually ridiculous. I was greedy getting the orichalcum. I barely shot it once and got the engineer's hat. Yeah. He was getting drops too. I'm just kind of fooling around here, but yeah, we pretty much knocked these bosses out really quick and raked in a bunch of those drops. At this point, Wartech needs toothpicks in his eyelids to keep his eyes open, but this is what's actually funny. I get the woodworker pants, and then I'm like, hey bro, didn't you forget to loot that chest over there? I turn off the recording. We kill the boss again and I get another set. I might be showing you that I'm working on my stone cutting, but what you're not seeing is that I'm actually refining all 4 of the other materials in order to keep the gold train going. I literally had 56 hours of footage to dig through. A lot of that was farming and refining in order to make all this money behind the scenes. Seriously, do not waste your time making platinum ingots. Instead, turn them into these caches of prospected gems. In most cases, refining to a better item is a really good idea. It's just that platinum ingots is the end of the line and only jewel crafters need them for specific reasons. So instead, just get a bunch of gems out of it. I'm back on stone cutting again. I've stacked up a decent amount of gold. However, I'm not going to put any more buy orders in for now for stone items because we need to start working on our second part of the master plan. At first, we worked on getting all of our refining gear sorted. This time, we're going to start working on all of our gathering gear. We're going to be starting with the miner set first because generally the miner set is usually the least expensive out there. You cannot equip any of these sets until you at least hit level 65, which is why I generally don't waste my money on anything else lower level. Removed all my refining gear out of the gear sets. I now got them prepped for my gathering sets. You also want to make sure that you purchase an amulet to give you even more mining luck. Luckily for me, mining is strength based, so I'm able to use my ring and earring with this build. The next set I recommend you focus on is the Lumberjack set. Generally, this set is a bit more expensive than the Harvester set. I ended up forking out 19k in order to get all 5 pieces. Unfortunately, the better amulets had crappier buffs on them, so I'm just going to go with this one right here. We're mostly just concerned about added logging luck. This is going to be a Constitution build, so I need a new ring. This one has Hardy and Leeching. Super happy about that. Need a new earring. It's not the greatest, but it also has refreshing and only cost me 10 gold, so yeah. We already now have 2 of the 4 harvesting sets sorted. When you're out there logging, if you want even more luck, buy this bear flanking cabbage here. Having more luck gives you a better chance at rare drops. Crispy chicken and potatoes will ensure that you get even more rare drops when you're out there mining. If you want to get even more loot when you're out there farming, purchase these powerful proficiency boosts. They give you an extra plus 15% yield. Heading over to Restless Shore to do some next level banana and greenwood farming. Whenever you're doing lumberjacking of any kind, if you can max out to 350 Constitution, definitely do it. I'm also going to take a proficiency boost just for the extra wood. Logging luck isn't going to help us get any extra bananas, but having 350 Constitution most definitely will. The luck is there so I can get even more petrified wood, which we're going to use a lot later. By the time the proficiency boost was over, I ended up with just under 20k greenwood. All these rare drops right here, well, we're going to turn them into a bunch of free items later. Earning 2k gold as a side effect of needing greenwood to make lumber is also a win. I really want to get the skinning set knocked out, but it is generally really expensive, or can be, so I'm just going to knock out the harvesting set because we have the gold right now, so I might as well just let it burn a hole in my pocket. Harvesting is intelligence based, so we are going to need a new weapon. Unfortunately, this blunderbuss sucks, but it is cheap. I need to buy a harvesting amulet as well. You know what? It sure would be nice if I just get my jewel crafting skill up. I also have to buy an intelligence earring as well as a ring, but at least we didn't spend very much gold. I have 3 of the 4 gathering sets. We're almost there. I went on another chest run in Brimstone Sands waiting for my buy and sell orders to pop off. When I pull another legendary drop, unfortunately it sucks, but the melon bread's actually pretty good. Eventually I'll max out cooking on this character like I have with all the other ones because I have sold a pile of glazed melon bread. Focusing on doing the things that brings in the money, although I'm not showing it as often as I'm doing it because you'll puke in your mouth. Not gonna lie, one of the only reasons why I even get my stone cutting up is to turn these sandstone blocks into charged sand, which is worth a pile of money, and boy did we do good on the bonus. Sulfur is also a lot, and when you have a full set, that 43% bonus is really gonna pay off. Charged sand and sulfur are used to make rune glass, however, if you just want to sell it for straight gold, well, you're gonna just make a whole pile of gold. It's finally time. I go to look up the skinning gear and I go, you know what? This stuff actually isn't as expensive as the last multiple times I've bought that for other characters. And then I go to purchase the gloves and go, yep, those are the prices I'm used to seeing. Adorned skinning amulet for all the dough. Then I end up getting a really good deal on this earring. Luckily, I was able to find a ring with Hardy on it, giving us a third roll. Grilled tenderloin with vegetables will give us more luck when we're out there skinning. Now that we have all of our refining and gathering gear sorted, having to spend piles of gold is finally a thing of the past. This boss I'm about to camp in Reekwater is a level 70 gold elite, so be prepared to bring your A game. Meyer Paw is no joke, alright. You need to be a really good top tier tank with healing support or be able to roly-poly yourself to absolute victory when you're fighting them. Compared to the other bosses I've fought in the video, Meyer Paw is absolutely freaking brutal. You need to maintain your distance and always be ready to roly-poly at any given moment, because if he hits you even one time, you can pretty much die from it even if you have over 15k hit points. DPS roly-poly tank for all the dough, it is definitely the most exciting way to play New World anyway, and if you get lucky enough to get a drop, you have a chance to get the Engineer's shirt. Oh yeah, babe. Oh yeah. Basically have Meyer Paw Ted, and then the unthinkable happens. He does 18k damage when I only have 15 in the butt. Time for my buddy Wartech to come in clutch. He almost freaking ends up getting himself beat down, but he ultimately wins the fight. He picks me back up from the doors of death, and I head over there to check loot, and wouldn't you know it, I end up getting another Engineer's shirt. I was like, bro, and he's like, no way, and I'm like, yep. I bought a ridiculous amount of stone and lodestone via buy orders and finally got my stone cutting all the way to 250. If I buy the engineer's boots as well as the gloves right now, well, we'll have all 5 pieces for the engineering set. Instead of spending 3k on the earring I need, I'm gonna buy this charm instead. I already have some gold on hand to make this hook as well as this setting. Our jewel crafting is fixing to come in clutch. The craft mod we want to add is that Orichalcum Engineer's Charm we just purchased a second ago. That's going to give us our engineering mastery. And just think, having the skills right there to make that saved us 3k by spending only 17 gold. Having the full set plus the earring gives us plus 15 to our crafting quality. I'll get another plus 15 to our crafting quality by purchasing 3 of these major engineer crafting trophies. You also want to have a good supply of herb crusted vegetables. That's going to give you a plus 15 to your crafting score when you're crafting engineering items. As of now, we're basically awesome, even though we totally suck because we don't have any skill. So let's just gain a little bit of skill making a bunch of bows. Don't use any of your Azoth when you're crafting these bows, and once you get them done, just salvage everything. You're going to get a whole bunch of these perfectly salvaged engineering scraps. Immediately just turn around and use all of those engineering scraps. It's going to give you another boost of engineering experience. I've been holding on to these green scraps for a while now, and I wasn't able to use them until we got up to 50 engineering, so that's another chunk of experience. I now have plenty of skill to start making steel tools. We don't want to make any tools quite yet. First, we want to hang up all of our trophies in all 3 of our houses. I've been saving up all these rare drops since the beginning of the video. It is now time to turn them into money. We're pretty much ready to go. The last thing I need to do is eat some of these vegetables. First time crafts will give you more experience, and if you use these rare drops instead of the items that you refined, you'll have an even higher gear score. At this point, you definitely want to use your Azoth. We're going to end up getting more experience for crafting a steel logging axe as well as the mining pick, just because it uses more materials than the knife or the sickle. I ended up getting all the void metal from farming iron, the rage hide from killing low-level wolves, and the petrified wood from mostly banana trees. Now that we have all the refining sets, it's going to mean we're going to be able to find these rare drops so much easier. Just make sure you're not a complete and total bonehead like I am right now. I forgot to use Azoth in the construction, so that means I wasted materials. I always seem to find a way to do that every now and then, so it's your best bet to just double and triple check that you actually use Azoth every single time you're crafting. With that mistake, I'm only going to be able to make 5 of every tool, although at the very end I make 2 more axes, so I'm going to have 1 more axe. They generally sell better. We could call it quits for now, but for whatever reason, people still buy iron tools. I have no idea why, but we have some fate iron, so we might as well just make some. In my opinion, it's kind of a waste of gold, but you know, whatever floats your boat. Made it to 91 engineering. At 100, we can craft star metal tools. I hardly ever sell iron tools, so I might as well just do a little research, and oh my goodness, we're fixing to be rich. The gear score on our tool is way better, so technically I could charge more, but I'm gonna be nice to the noobs. It's like I want to be nice, but I also don't want to give the stuff away. I'm gonna sell these for at least 99 each. Oh yeah, not gonna put you through posting all of those tools, but yeah, definitely posted every single one of those tools. We are going to make a freaking killing. Just think, all those tools we made were absolutely free. It's time to work on furnishing. I need some ash stain in order to level, although I didn't read that you get 10 times as much as you're crafting, so yep, we got a ton. After you get all that ash stain, hopefully not as much as me, you want to start working on crafting all of your musical instruments. There are 5 of them in total, and even though they do not give you a lot of experience right now, the upgrades will later. Working up your furnishing skill can be super duper ultra expensive, so ultimately what you want to do is only complete first time crafts with the patterns you have. You'll most definitely have enough first time crafts to get you to level 50, and when you do, you're going to be making maple stain, and this time we're not making a freaking truckload of it. You know what, maybe I'll make a little bit more. At the maple stain level, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to only focus on doing one-time crafts right up until we get to at least 75 furnishing. Well, that was actually really close. I only had 1 more piece of furniture left that I can do a first-time craft with. At 75 furnishing, you unlock the ability to start crafting these minor trophies here. They're going to make us a pile of gold. Just like we've been doing, we're going to craft 1 of each of every single one of these trophies in order to get that first time experience craft bonus, because it's huge and there is a lot of trophies to craft. Let's upgrade our instruments at this point, but first we got to salvage the ones we have. To upgrade these to blue, chances are you're going to have to buy snail slime and catfish whiskers off the trading post. The slime and whiskers can get expensive if everyone's upgrading their instruments. I can upgrade each of them 1 more time, so we might as well do it. I just need to go grab a few things off the trading post, then we'll salvage all of our instruments once again. Crafting this inlay here will actually use any brilliant gem, but instead I wasted my pearls because I'm dumb. Crafting the plectrum though, yeah, that takes the pearls. To upgrade these instruments, we basically need to know engineering, stonecutting, leatherworking, as well as fishing if we weren't just buying the stuff from the trading post. I got everything I need to upgrade my instruments, I just need to make a little bit of oak stain. Crafting these 5 instruments here is going to give us an absolute ridiculous amount of experience. When we get them all crafted up, it's nearly 225,000 furnishing experience. For now, I'm happy with my furnishing score. Let's hop back over to do some more engineering. I need to get that skill at least up to 100 so I can start making those star metal tools. They have the potential to earn us a whole boatload of gold. And you know what? I've already got the skill, but there's always room for 1 more. I'm actually getting pretty excited here. This huge grind of creating multiple ways to make money is almost over. Now, just like with the iron and the steel tools, these star metal tools are going to be free. That azurite chunk right there, you get that as a rare drop from farming star metal. Again, don't forget to use Azoth or you're going to be wasting a bunch of materials. And right after I say that, of course I forget to use my Azoth, wasting a whole bunch of stuff. You know what? That kind of pisses me off. It's bad enough that I've already screwed up 2 times now crafting these tools, and even though they're free, man, it's gonna fly all over you. Just don't screw up when you're crafting with prismatic materials, because that will piss you off. At this point, I'm just going to be leveling up my engineering as well as my furnishing. When any of the pieces start selling on the market, I'll make some new ones. I mean, just check out the prices of these logging axes. We're fixing to make a bunch of gold. But Hawks, have those other tools and trophies been selling? Yep, they sure have. Pretty much every single one of the combat trophies too are selling so fast the price just keeps going up and up and up, and I can hardly keep up with it. You know, I've had worse problems in my life. Charging 2.5k for an earring that a jewel crafter can already make for themselves when they want to have jewel crafting mastery, it absolutely boggles my mind. Definitely going to be adding this item to the things we sell. I really need that 30 Windsward experience in order to buy a large house in just a second, but I also want to get 125 Arcana. I start out by creating my daily gypsum potion, and while I'm creating motes into wisps, I end up hitting 125. I upscale absolutely everything that I have left. We finish off with these water quintessence, gets me up to 139 Arcana. That's good enough for now, plus we got all the Windsward experience we need. I cut an onyx and an emerald. That was plenty of skills to get us past 150. At that point, we're able to upscale every single one of the brilliant gems we have, turning them into pristine gems. 207's not going to cut the mustard. We need to turn these raw gems into the final product and cut every single one of them that we can. That, ironically, ends up getting us all the way to 250 jewel crafting. With another way to make money under our belt, things are going to get a lot easier. With max jewel crafting, you can actually purchase the smallest gems that you can get in the game. Buy every single one of those by the thousands, then upscale them, and then you can turn around and sell these cut gems later. It's pretty good profit. Plus, you'll max out your Arcana too. I'm just about to purchase my first large house here in Windsward, but before we can do that, I have to abandon this one first. When you abandon your house, you will get 50% of the gold you used to purchase that house. However, we got this one for free, so we're not getting anything back. Being able to drop 20k on this house means a lot to me right now, because I'm going to finally be able to get 4 storage chests total in this house, meaning that I'm going to be able to take my refining to the absolute next level. Over the next few days, I'm going to camp bosses, refine, sell tools, trophies, gems, and jewelry. Everything I can do to make the money to buy all the major gathering and luck trophies. By the end of that first day, I was able to get all of my major gathering trophies sorted. This is the end of the second day. I'm buying the last loot luck trophy I need for my third house. I've shown you how to take a fresh level 1 character all the way to 65 and then level that character with purpose. I hope these tips truly help you have the best start at New World Aeternum. It's been my pleasure to be your guide. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to pet the dog and leave a like on this video.